Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, you know what? Let's start off with Rome and Trip. Well, Rome was being a dick to Trip. The entire time he was just being a straight up dick to him. Trip wanted to set up flyers and stuff like that to try to look for his mother, and Rome was just being Rome. I know that's here's the thing. I know that's not normally how he is. And I know that he is concerned for his granddaughter and, he's being protective. And I totally get that. I understand where he's coming from, okay? I'm not going to lie. It was a little kind of difficult to watch. And after a while, I was just like, Trip, just leave. Because he is just going to be. He's just going to be a dick to you. And after a while, Kayla came in, she stepped in, and, Trip left. And because at one point, Trip was like, my dad's gonna sit there and try to clear me with him and John, and that just didn't go over well. He was like, oh, well, now you're sitting there again, and I'm sitting there thinking the whole time. I was like, there is a possibility. There is just a possibility that she may not be telling the truth, and that I don't know, something could have happened with the test. I mean, it's 99% accurate. It's not 100%. But I don't know. He just didn't want to listen to reason. And then when Kayla came in and Kayla was like, it's possible, you know. And that was about it. Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. I really did not enjoy that scene at all. Even though I understand it, he was still being a dick, and that's just my opinion. Now let's get to the fire of this episode, okay? Because you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I never want to see someone go down more than I want to see Chad go down. And Abigail confronts Gwen, and she's like, "Why'd you lie?" And Gwen tries to do this BS story about how Jake, threatened her, and she was all afraid of her life, and yada yada yada. Bottom line was, Abigail was not buying it. She was not buying it at all. She wasn't buying it about that. Um, and I think it was something else that they got to that she didn't even get to. But the bottom line was that she was like, you know what? I want you out. I want you out. I want you fired. Like you're fired, and I'm kicking you out. Gwen was all like, "What? You're kicking me out on the streets? What about the children?" I was like, "Really, really? The whole time. That's the best you can come up with." Now, throughout this whole confrontation, Gwen kept giving Chad the side eye, like you better come in here and defend me, because if these lies start to go, truth is gonna come out. So I can't do all the heavy lifting. Chad, you want to come in and step in? And at some point, Chad was like, yeah, I agree. Um, I did walk in on them, arguing and stuff like that, and then we get to the whole point about did because at one point Abigail was like, did you sleep with my husband? And after a point, Gwen was like, listen, you're not gonna believe me. Just have him tell you. So of course, Chad lied. Chad lied, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it irked a lot of people. It irked a lot of people, and I mean, I just called him a damn hypocrite. But at one point he was like, yeah, I just got drunk, and that's what happened, and nothing else happened, and at this point, Abigail's like, yo, listen, I want you gone. So by the time I get back, you better be gone. She walks off, and Chad is all like, well, you gotta go, you gotta leave, and he's upset with Gwen because he's like, you took advantage of me, and yada yada yada. And at this point, Gwen just starts to show her true colors, like, hey, listen, I didn't really have to do much, and I mean, to be fair, she wasn't wrong about that. Like, he did have a very low opinion of his wife before she did anything, so it didn't really take much. But bottom line was, Chad was like, you gotta leave, And Gwen was like, I'm not going anywhere. I ain't leaving. I ain't going nowhere. And I was like, under any other circumstance, I would have been furious at a situation like that. I would have been furious. But with Chad, I was like, you know what? You deserve every single ounce of this. Every single ounce that she is giving you, that she is pretty much blackmailing you, because she was like, listen, I ain't leaving. You better convince your wife, because if you don't, I'm going to tell the truth. I was like, you know what? Good. Good. Here's the thing. I do not like blackmail of any kind, you know, when people do that. With Chad, I was like, good. Good. And you know what? Just to add some extra sauce to that, I hope she is pregnant. I hope she is pregnant because the truth is going to come out at some point. I hope she is pregnant. I really do, because Chad is going to be living in his own personal hell for a while, and I'm going to enjoy every single minute of it. And I know, I know that sounds pretty dickish. It does. Sounds pretty dickish. And, I know the whole, bro code or man code or whatever, but like with him, nope. Screw him. Let him fend for himself, and I'm gonna sit there and enjoy watching it happen. I can go on and on about that, but the point is, I'm gonna enjoy watching Chad be miserable. It's gonna be so good. And that sounds so bad to me, but he is such a dick that I'm just like, I don't care. Now I guess they went to, I don't know exactly where they went to. This is Steve and John. They went somewhere. I don't know exactly where they went, but they went somewhere. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. They went somewhere and they confronted Ava's father. And at first it was like, so, did you rape Allie? And the guy, whatever his name is, I don't remember his name is, but he's like, yo, what are you talking about? I didn't do any of that. Like, yeah, I was in London, and then they check his story out. And then the dad's like, what about Ava's other son? This is the first time Steve was like, what other son? So they tell him about the other son. They say the name, Charlie. And, they're talking about him a little bit. And I'm sitting there thinking, John, why are you acting so surprised? Like, because I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there looking at my notes, like, why haven't you not actually said anything? And it was, at some point, there was like, where can we find Charlie at? At this point, he was like, well, that's your problem. And, Steve gave him the, you're not going anywhere kind of look. And John was like, nah, we're good. And that's when John was like, yeah, I know who he is. And like, I think I met him before. But I was not there thinking, why did you not jump in there early and said that? Like he was so surprised. I was like, bro, you met him. So the fact that he was like, I think I came across him before. I was like, yeah, at the wedding. When you choke that woman. None of this is like, and this is, at first I was like, this is before whatever brain thing that he had going on. So I don't understand why he didn't recognize him automatically. I mean, his granddaughter was talking about him nonstop, but whatever. So now they gotta leave. And now back in Salem, Allie was talking to, of course, the hell is her name? Claire. Charlie comes in. Charlie says arrivederci or something like that. And, Allie kind of freaks out a little bit. Like, she has that look on her face, but she's like, I don't know. Like, it seems so familiar. So when she goes to talk to Marlena, and I'm going to get to the Kayla thing in a minute. When she goes to talk to Marlena, She's all like, oh, well, he kind of reminds me of Trip and stuff like that. Am I going to see Trip? And then she started going on this whole other rabbit hole. And I was like, I kind of thought it was going to go somewhere like maybe he said something that kind of like threw you off because it was more than just a look, you know? When he said Arrivederci, that's when she froze for a minute. But no, of course not. She just, went down her usual spiral and, Trip is this and Trip is that and yada yada yada. So at that point I kind of was like, yeah, I don't really care anymore. We're gonna have to sit there and say this again. For anyone new that's watching. Listen, I don't wish that on anyone. And although I do not like Allie at all, what happened to her was beyond words. So, yes, my heart does break for that character. She's still annoying as hell, but I'm not unsympathetic towards what happened to her. Now, at some point before Allie, came in, Kayla was sitting there talking to Marlena, and I'm not gonna lie, she kind of got a little annoying, to be honest. She was all like practically sitting there saying that what they were doing was a fool's errand, like, oh, well, the DNA proves this, and yada yada yada. So what are they doing? They're dragging John into this, and yada yada yada. And I'm sitting there thinking, sweetheart, if this was your son, and they were sitting there trying to prove, him innocent, or you was sitting there trying to prove your son, you would go to the ends of the earth to sit there and try to prove, your son's, your son is innocent. So why the hell are you being such a negative Nancy? The fact that Steve is sitting there trying to prove, his son's innocence. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna lie. I was like, wow, you, sweetheart, you. So that just kind of annoyed me. And yeah, she did catch herself and she was like, I know I'm being kind of negative and stuff like that. I was like, yes, sweetheart, you are. And I think she tried to like smooth it over, but at that point I was like, yeah, I don't care. I just don't care, because if it was the reverse, you'll be going to the ends of the earth. So shut your goddamn mouth. Just saying. Now, the last scene I think I'm going to talk about is, well, the last two scenes I'm going to sit there and talk about. At one point, Trip is on the phone, and he's trying to get in contact with Steve, and he's like, listen, I hope you found the person who did this to Allie, yada, yada, yada. And then Allie walks up, and Allie's like, oh, what are you talking about? Now, originally, I was like, none of your goddamn business. Like, I don't understand why people have this, and granted, I get it, it's a soap opera and yada yada yada, but I'm just like, what kind of person walks up to somebody else and is like, well, who are you talking about? Or who you on the phone with? When Jennifer walked up to Kate and was like, well, who are you talking to? I'm like, none of your goddamn business. Like, do you want to be laid out on the floor? Like, I don't know, maybe that just irked me because I already don't like Allie and the fact that she was all up in this business. Like, mind your goddamn business and keep walking. Like, does it matter who he's on the phone with? I don't care if he uses your name or not. Did he actually? Anyway, before I get into more of an angry rant, let's talk about Charlie. Charlie and Claire. Now, I gotta sit there and say, at some point they're talking and they're like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go somewhere? And Claire's like, no, do you want to go over your house and stuff like that? And Charlie's like, no, it was even more of a mess before. He makes up some sort of excuse or whatever. Okay, fine. At some point, they're like, do you want to, I think Claire was like, do you want to go to the movies? And Charlie's like, well, do you like anime? It's like, God damn it. I was like, God damn, why do you actually have to like the same thing I like? You're such a terrible person. I don't know, that just bothered me. The fact that he liked the anime too, I was like, Jesus Christ. But at some point, they wound up going back to Claire's house. Because, his parents are, her parents are on a honeymoon or whatever, so they got the place to themselves, and, I don't know. I guess they can wind up doing the Devil's Tango, and yeah. I wonder how it's actually gonna work. I mean, with the whole COVID thing or whatever, I'm still remembering that scene from The Bold and the Beautiful. I don't know if anyone watched The Bold and the Beautiful, but if you do, it was really funny scene of I think his name was Wyatt and some woman. I don't remember her name, but they had this so-called love scene, and it was the most hilarious thing I think I've ever seen on a soap opera in my entire life. Like, this was priceless. I don't know who they were kissing. I don't know if they were somebody was kissing a doll or something, but this was this was this was hilarious. I could not stop laughing when I reviewed that episode, and it really makes me want to go back and kind of start watching that show at some point. When I get some time, like actual legit time, I want to start reviewing Bold and the Beautiful because I kind of missed that show. And plus, I love Los Angeles, so. But with that being said, I don't know what they're gonna do if they're actually gonna do an actual lovemaking scene. I kind of hope that they do because I really want to see what are they gonna do. That's gonna be hilarious. Now with that being said, yeah, I think that's actually about it. I don't think I really missed too much of anything. If I did, write it down in the comment section below. Um, Chad. I look forward to watching Chad be miserable. I really do. I don't like him. I think he's a dick, and just his pompous attitude. I just I don't like him. And honestly, tell you the truth, not feel blackmail, but as far as somebody being blackmailed, it couldn't have happened to a more dick of a person. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Well, I don't even remember how to close this out. So, I'll see everyone in the next review.